Hey everybody, Texas Stroker here, Alliance Performance Shop, Lone Star, Mopars.com. Sunday fun day, it's technically Father's Day, and I had a tool of the day arrive. This sucker, probably about a month ago, it was out of stock, took a long time to come back in, held up the entire order, as it's prone to doing, and came in this past week. I figured, hey, let's get this thing opened up so I can start using it. Now, a little back-end business here. I want to know, you've seen me, you see what I do on YouTube, honest, straightforward, no clickbait, no misleading titles, nothing's deceptive in the titles. And what is the reward for that? Praise and adoration, celebration, mass hysteria as people flock to the guy that does things the right way. No, you get absolutely none of that. You get jack nothing. In fact, you would be far, far, far more rewarded for doing what people say that they hate. For example, clickbait titles, misleading thumbnails, things along those lines. And do I want to revert to that in our quest to get to 10,000 so I can release a backlog of Snap-on tool hauls? No. But I do offer this. Think of my thumbnails. If this was KC Tool Haul and let's say that we bought 3 Stavila ratchets. What do I do as a straightforward, honest person? We've got Ratchet 1, Ratchet 2, and Ratchet 3. Does that spoil things? And people are like, oh, well, I'm not going to watch that. I know all about Stavila ratchets. Or is it, wow, this guy is super honest. His title is KC Tool Haul 131, 3 Stavila ratchets. And look at the thumbnail, 3 Stavila ratchets, right? What a guy. I need to tell 18 friends about him and have them subscribe. It doesn't go that way, right? But with you as the viewer, let's just say this is KC Tool Haul 131. I'm not even sure what number this is going to be. If everything you see here is fanned out, right, like I typically do on the thumbnails, I truly sometimes don't put everything. I try to kind of have a couple surprises here and there. At the same token, if I buy like a $500 digital torque wrench, okay, we're probably going to have that and not a $3 screwdriver in the thumbnail. But what I want to know from you, picture everything you're going to see here fanned out, which is probably what the thumbnail will look like, or this, right? Maybe it's framed in here. Maybe you can see a little packing or a flyer of some sort. I genuinely want to know, like, what do you prefer, if anything? Are you going to watch it regardless? Or do you use the thumbnail to, like, filter out, like, oh, let's see, a pair of Knipex, some, looks like Gador pliers, I don't need to see that. And does this, the mystery of the box of unknown contents, does that get you excited and you come in and, hey, I've never seen this channel before. Let's say this isn't my channel. It's just some random KC tool haul or German tool haul or titled some way somebody thinks is going to get more attention. If you see this, the hands excitedly ready to open, right? Are you going to click that, or do you want to see everything laid out? Because like I said, I've been doing this a very, very long time, all right? And it's one of those deals, like everyone says, oh, I don't like clickbait, I don't like misleading titles. There's so many titles of videos where somebody has lost everything. They finally got their life back on track. A lot of the stuff I don't even know if I can say without being censored, right? And I don't do any of that. And the reward is just not there. So I'm genuinely curious what you would prefer. Here or abroad, on just random, if you watch a bunch of toolbox tours, you get stuff suggested. Do you get excited about the blurry thumbnail? You're like, oh, gotta watch this. Do you want to see the socket drawer already opened up? Do you want the wrench drawer slid out as a teaser? I'm genuinely curious because clearly you do not get rewarded for doing things the right way. And I'm trying to figure out how to walk that line while still maintaining some sense of dignity, right? Everyone else, does what people say they don't like, and they are rewarded for it. It makes no sense. But with that said, what does make sense is me reminding you that we have timestamps. I use them. They're down below. Feel free to take advantage of them. I also have everything that you're going to see in this video linked. And yes, still, as of recording this, you can purchase every single item from this haul, just like I did. And I do not see a dime. That's right. Still, no affiliate links after all these years. So, right here we have the botched thing there. We've got the seasonal. It's still going down by the time you see this video. I'm quite confident it won't, but until June 30th, I've covered that one in pretty significant detail. Anytime you buy from KC Tool, you get a bit of thanks, which is undoubtedly somewhere in here, but we'll just go with this one, all right? Avera number 2. Okay, that's what it's shipping as currently. Your order could be $1,000 or 10 cents, and you're going to get this free bit of thanks. If, however, you spend more than 10 cents and you hit 75, you get free shipping. If you hit the threshold of $100, you get that little gem right there, and that is, of course, our mystery sticker. Let me turn around and try to find this thing. There's my master set. Okay. Now, did I have... I think this is my master checklist. It's been a while, you know, a little rusty here. So this is what we've got and what we need and what we have duplicates of. Let's feel this one out. You know what? I was gonna say Knipex, but now that I feel this, I kind of think this one might be... I'll go NWS, Felo, Ghidorah in that order and not invest a ton of time. Of course, everyone is going to get the checklist if you're unaware. It's blank. Shenanigans. Burger. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So Berger, that's what we got there, and that is duplicate number 2. For those of you scoring at home, still no Knipex, no Hazet, and shockingly, no KC Tool or Vera. I did thought I had Vera. We'll have to verify at some point in time. But yeah, there it is. There we go. Will we ever strike gold with... You'd think KC Tool like would be the most frequent, right? You know, just out of... you think like, hey, what's this sticker setup going to be? If I had my business and I sold 4 brands of tools, guess what sticker you're going to get the most of? That's right, mine. Now, granted, you know, if I like have 5 stickers per sheet, we'll say... I guess it would truly be at random, you know, you'd have like a 20% chance, technically 50% every time you open one up, but hey, it is what it is. It's part of the fun. Now, speaking of fun, where did I set the box? Right here. Okay, so you know what? I think we will just do this. We will go this route now. Many moons ago, when we had the thumb injury, I picked these up. These are some gloves from Hazet. This is before I got in contact and heard back from Josh at Alpha Gloves, which, by the way, these little gems I constantly have on. You can go to Alpha Gloves. You can save 20% off your order with discount code Lone Star. They're fantastic. I wouldn't continue to promote them if they sucked. And no, I don't see a dime off of that. You could go buy out all the gloves he's got, and I don't see anything. Story there again. Thumb gets crushed in a bandsaw, then a one-off. Probably couldn't even duplicate it if I tried to. Tragic incident. And the hand surgeon dude, you know, was like, yeah, you should probably wear gloves. And I'm like, how long? And he's like, until you get feeling back. And I'm like, what kind of glove? And I'm sitting here thinking he's going to tell me to go order this off of some medical website. And he's like, and I'm like, are they just at like Walgreens or something? You know, you tell me an aisle or a brand name. And he's like, and you can just tell the man's about to start sweating bullets. And I'm like, you mean like mechanics type gloves or something? And he's like, yeah, that would probably work. And runs back off into the store. All right. So I went through, contacted a lot of people, didn't hear back, got the generic, we can't advise you anything medical, blah, blah. And it's like, really? And Josh was the one person that took time out of his day and didn't just completely blow me off. And for that, I will always be grateful. Plus, as it turns out, his gloves don't suck. They're actually really good. So that's a win for me. But this was about all you could get. I ordered everything KC Tool had. I'm like, well, I'm going to give it a go. Because I'd been through mechanics. I got to the point, I used to wear them all the time. They were really good gloves when I was in high school. And then they started to suck. I don't know. I assume they changed country of origin, manufacturer, something. I don't really care. I got to a point where like the Western Safety blue and black mechanic gloves from Harbor Freight were better. Like it got to that point. You can go back in time, watch all my videos. Same thing I told you then is the same thing I'm telling you now. The mechanics just completely wore out. I knew Ghidorahs were mechanics, you know, and just relabel. I was trying to just feel them all out. And this is what I got from Hazet. And a true story. These, you can tell these are kind of dirty. When I have like group projects over here, that's the pair my mom wears. So there you go. My nephew wears the green SK ones, which are again just knockoff mechanics. My sister usually has the Gador mechanics ones, and that's what my mom gets right there. So, but this was all that was available. I knew Hazet had more gloves. I had their catalogs. And what I did, oh yeah, being the glove guy that I am, I said, hey, this is fan-frickin-tastic stuff here. I'll take one of everything. If you were unaware, KC Tool recently expanded their selection of Hazet products. We also have access to something that I wanted access to for years, and that, if you go to the Hazet website, I'm talking like the German website that I would painstakingly attempt to translate. Now they've got like automated things for that. But I've been doing that for years, and all the time they had these sales flyers. And I'd be like, whoa, hey, look at that. That's, gonna cash in on that. And I'd go back to KC Tool, it wasn't on sale. And I'm like, hey, what's the deal, man? And I guess you like have to, whoever the distributor is has to be approved or something. And needless to say, as things have continued to progress and KC Tool is the go-to place for Hazet, aha, at last, all these years later, all that stuff and so much of their catalog the KC Tool has never had is now being listed actively. Like, I check all the time, and it's almost like every couple of days it seems like there's a new slew of things thrown up. Product pictures, images may not be there, they may not be in stock yet, but they're coming. And they're available for people like me to go and follow and order. And I've wanted these for forever, and finally we have them. So they're kind of thrown down in a fitting order here. I'm going to walk you through it as best I can. This little gem right here, and sadly all of these are, as best I know, made in China. And interestingly enough, this might be the pair that I am the most interested in. Boy, this doesn't have a standalone part number that I see. Oh, no, it does. I'm sorry. 1987 N-4. These are cheap, dinky little gloves. They're $7.80. I am excited about them, and there's a reason why. I've had some alphas on order for a long time. The thinners, I'll straight up tell you, I love these. I wear them all the time. There's certain times where I'm not hammering or running an impact. That's what these are really good for. And I want a glove, but I wish I didn't have to use the vibes, right? And I love their little cheap, dinky kind of throwaway style glove. And they've been out of stock a while, and I think eventually they'll come back. I have some on back order, but that's basically what they are. I have some suppliers that give me gloves pretty much just like that. The alphas I do think are slightly better. I'm not saying that, again, I don't see a dime. I genuinely believe that. They don't wear out as fast. I go through those really quick. But the brand I most frequently have given to me is Champion. And Champion drill bits, of all things. It makes no sense to me. Milwaukee is usually just like the freebie king, if I've got somebody showing up and it's like, hey, I got something for you. If I just assume it's going to be something from Milwaukee, I'm probably right 80% of the time. So, I can probably count on one hand the amount of free DeWalt and Makita stuff I've received in my life, but Milwaukee, good freaking Lord, a ton of it. And kudos to them, I guess it builds goodwill and sentiment and whatnot. But these are just dirt cheap. They do kind of have like a little textured grip to them, and I'm hoping they fit everything KC Tool has in stock with large. And I like to wear large. These fit really well, but in some gloves they just suck. These fit like a glove, and I will be wearing them probably tomorrow because it's gonna get hot, like 105 hot, and I'm in the part of the shop for these next couple of days that does not have much airflow coming through. So here we are. This is what these are. These are just, again, bare bones, dirt cheap. I could probably bum some more free gloves off my suppliers if I wanted to. But again, Champion, I don't know why. Like, the drill bit people have gloves, but I've gotten a ton of them. And I'm going to call that good. These are $7.80. I do think some of these prices might be reflecting a current sale, if I'm not mistaken. Wow, this came with some literature. I'm not going to read that. Maybe we'll take a look at it just to be nice. But keep in mind, like if you ever click this link and it's like up in price, at the time of recording this, pretty much I think every glove is on that like worldwide special pricing. So I've never seen this much text with these things. So it's about the, wow, all tests by CTC Center Technique, Lyon, France. Intended use, application, and field risk corresponding to technical standards indicated. Yeah, okay. If you want to read it, you spend $7.80. We ain't got time for that. All right. Now, moving up the gauntlet, we're going to have from Hazet their 1987. Again, that was the N-4. The N-3 is going to be a leather work glove. Price point $15.15. It's really not that bad. So I'll go ahead and crack this one open. I kind of wondered if my mom might like these better, without the impact strips and everything. Once again, got some nice literature. And we're going to hopefully get this guy. This is one I was concerned about not fitting. There's not quite as much leeway with these. I think it's going to be good. And man, that's a sweet color. Like, that is such a good color. But again, 1987 N-3. Very cool stuff. Feels nice. Smells legit. It's almost like a scented baseball glove. But, yeah, I'll give them a go, And we might... I don't know if I'll take these to work. I kind of think this looks like something my mom would like. Just sort of bright and happy, We'll see. I don't know if she'll want to give these up, but, she got options. She trashes the other ones. It's fine. No big deal. Coming up next, the most expensive pair, not by much, luckily, was the 1987. Are you sensing something here with Hazet's part numbers? If you see 1987, there's a good chance it's a what? A glove. Correct. So the 87 N-6 cost $16.98. And I'm not going to lie, out of these three, I'm probably the most excited about this pair, even though that's the pair that I'm currently leaning towards because of the heat. But we'll cut this, open that. Why does Hazet not have scissors like Knipex, VH, Stavilo, NWS? That would be nice to know. This does seem to be a thicker, better paper. I don't know if that's a sign of anything. But this is sort of like a hybrid, okay? Not necessarily of the leather, old school, but take these El Cheapos and sort of a higher end, mechanic style glove, and you get this. This has, ooh, it looks familiar, right? The impact strips. And it's got sort of that same texture on the palm. Might actually be a slightly more aggressive texture on the palm, but I think I won't have any issue with these fitting me. I'm also assuming these would get insanely hot. Could be wrong. I like them. Well, I'm content with this. So should we buy some Hazet pneumatic tools or cordless too? I just feel like with the glove, we need to do that, right? So I thought this would breathe a lot better than this, and I'm not sure that it does. I'm like getting insanely hot with this thing on. But basically, again, take the El Cheapo, take part of the vibe with the impact strips, throw it together, and you get that. So home free. Speaking of home free, there's some text right on freaking time. It's about work tomorrow. Great. Fantastic. What better way to spend the evening hours on Sunday, right, than discussing work? Cool. I'll deal with that later. We're trying to have some fun in life here. So that's what I did. I picked up the gloves from Hazet. Now, this one, I don't remember. This is a 1987 -5. That's right. So let me just do you a solid here and sign into the old phone. I've got KC Tool pulled up, and we're going to type in 1987. Anyone born in 87, you got your 40th birthday coming up. Beautiful gloves. Okay, those guys. I take care of my mom, right? Those are The most expensive. So let me kill that so you can see it. Right there, this is the cheap pair I'm excited about, $7.80. Hey, somebody has reviewed that. Interesting. What loser stalks the new Hazet products like me? Must be another genius in the world, right? Those guys right there, that's the pair that I had. That's what Casey Tool had for a Hazet Glow. I guess they got their like most premium one. $40.85. That is a huge jump. You could pick two of these and throw on some cheap ones, right? Coming down, we got the leather ones for $15.15. Right there, $16.98 on those, and then you just back to the extra large on that for the same $40.85. So that's pretty much it, man. Let's line these up for you. You got your $7 gloves, your $15 leather gloves. You got your $16 kind of hybridized impacts. And then you've got these, which are kind of like full tilt mechanic style, right? They do have like, this padding is nothing like my Alphas at all, but it does have subtle impact strips. It's not as aggressive of an impact strip as you see on their lower tiered glove here, or of course, you know, what I'm accustomed to with the Vibes. But that is it. That is Hazet's glove lineup. So cool. I've seen these things for years. Granted, I kind of knew what to expect here. These two, I had no idea, and now we know, and that makes me happy. But $7 to $40, you take your pick. Again, you can probably get these way cheaper other places, but it says Hazet, so it's cooler to me. And again, those are going to work with me in the morning. Now, you know the way I do things, this could be a video for most people, but no, not for us. We go above and beyond. It's a tool haul, by gosh. And that is why, you know, let's just stick with Hazet, shall we? In my hand, I have something that is, guess what, going to work tomorrow. And I had a guy that used to say tomorrow all the time to my nephew. A random story there. But it is the Hazet 811S. So think about what you've seen on the channel recently. 811. Sounds familiar. Seems like I've heard that a lot. Could it possibly be a screwdriver? Well, you'd be 100% correct. This is the 811S. That's of significance dash 45. This thing will cost, this is expensive, I'm not gonna lie, $22.19, and it's right here. Thinking like, okay, oh, it's got a bolster on it, a little heavy duty guy. At 45, that wouldn't happen to coordinate with the size of the slot, would it? And it totally does. So your flathead here, you can kind of see what we're working with. Well, again, you're like, wow, hex bolster, $22.19. I don't know if I would have done that, buddy. That's why I did it. I have a set of Hazet striking caps, but it's the old style, and this is the new 811, not that that has anything to do with it. The biggest thing that I wanted this for is to take it to work, and to use it and abuse it as a striking cap screwdriver. Right here, since they're constantly handy, Ghidorah broke. Vita broke. The Vera has not broke. That handle is taking some serious abuse. It's been there a long time, I will give it that. I don't think the Ghidorah would have broke if not for a double staple I didn't know was there. A Felo is the most recent addition. It's a 4.5. I get the smallest one, not so they break, but because it's the most beneficial to me. The Felo is the 4.5, and I have beat that. You almost can't tell there's yellow on that thing. And the back end that's blacked out, that thing is, it ain't black anymore. That thing is shiny. It's been beat down. You feel really bad, you know, because it's the ergonomics handle. But it is what it is. The Stavilla, I think I got a 3.5 in it. I have not used that like I do the others, because that thing is like perfect for just mundane staples. When I say staples, I'm talking like heavy duty carton staples, nightmare type things that I use, you know, pincers to get out and everything. But just like a desk stapler staple that has like packing lists, manuals, that type of crud, you know, lift from this end, I'll salvage all that stuff. Believe you me. But that thing is like perfect, and so I don't have the heart to start subjecting it to see if we can break it. I've got a lot of VHAs in use, the extra heavy duties, and that is what this is going to do. It's going to go to work, and it will be, you're thinking like, man, you should have got 3.5. They don't make one. So many manufacturers have the 3.5, but if they offer the striking cap, it is unavailable in a size that small, probably because they know it's going to break, right? But kudos to those who attempt it, you know. But I'm kind of, this feels pretty good in hand. Again, the big thing here, the Veras work quite well. It's almost like the back end of a chisel, but I mean, literally, this will, it could turn a screw. It's very unlikely that it will. Very, very big striking cap there, so that'll be nice. We'll try not to slide off, but if I do, look what I have to protect me. Beautiful. So that is what that is. Now, sticking with Felo, I know what you're thinking, like, okay, hey, you must have been really impressed by that ergonics driver you've been beating the snot out of at work. Kind of, but this is better. This is a 3.5, and you're like, idiot, you know, you just told us it was a 4.5. Wouldn't you have bought the 3.5 the first time? I totally would have if they had it in the ergonics line, and they do not. But they do have this. And you're thinking like, no, not the wood handle. It's too, too beautiful to subject. I don't care. We're going to find out what lasts and what doesn't. Now, this is not like your traditional run-of-the-mill striking cap we see from the German tool companies. This is like the old school style. You just, you know, where that has like a cap on the back and the VHAs have the cap. You know, it's integrated with the Gador and Vit and Stavilla. This is just like the shank, right? This is your wood handle, and this shank goes all the way through. That is a piece of leather that's supposed to help keep the wood from splintering, which that is something we could have an issue with. I am not using a soft face mallet when I do this. I typically, probably 90% of the time, I'm using a 3-pound drilling hammer, my Mac one. If I'm not doing that, I'm using a 24-ounce Proto. So every once in a while, Levon comes out and has some fun, but it's only 16, so it will be interesting to see if this holds up or not. That could potentially be like a stopping point or a split in the action. But yeah, you'll, I guess a quick little comparison here, since we can do it, hopefully, if the camera wants to cooperate. 4.5 versus 3.5, that actually looks very similar, does it not? Slightly better finish out. But that finite tip that we achieve with these smaller sizes helps me get underneath things. You could come in with like a 5.5, a 6.5, you know, and just, you know, force under it, but then I'm tearing up the cardboard and making things look like trash. So, relatively expensive, not gonna lie for that guy. The sets are usually the way to go with Hazets, especially striking cap. However, I don't think this small size was included. This would be like a supplemental. It's like underneath. They probably have some bigger ones that aren't included in the base sets either. And that's kind of the same thing. I just went and I pulled out my Felo set, and I'm like, hey, you know, does this not have that? You know, did I duplicate it? And while they've got the slotted, I think they're all 5-piece, and it does not go down this small, but they make it, which is fantastic. Now, with that said, you're thinking like, okay, didn't you say something about a tool of the day at the start of the video? I believe I did. If I didn't, I apologize. I meant to. But, it took about a month or so for this thing to come in. Held all the, I think some of the gloves, to be fair, were also not in stock. I want to say maybe it was like a 2 out of 3 deal. It's been a while. My apologies. But this is kind of the cream of the crop, probably the most exciting thing for the vast majority of you, and it is Hazet's part number